They fired her. She worked at Starbucks and they fired her for being white. And she has now won $25 million. Shannon Phillips won her lawsuit against the coffee giant and got $25.6 million. Now, I guess she was a regional manager. They fired her because two black men came in. They weren't customers. They wanted to use the bathroom. This lady had nothing to do with it. The black supervisor of the store told an employee to call the police. They fired her instead. She was like, what? The supervisor, who was black, said, the fact that Starbucks didn't fire him shows there was racial motivation. It seems that Starbucks said, to win the PR battle, fire a white woman so people will stop yelling at us. The funny thing is, Starbucks then changed their policy to allow anyone to use the bathroom, which resulted in chaos and catastrophe as syringes and other really awful things started to turn up in Starbucks bathrooms. Well, here's a story, ladies and gentlemen. Get woke, go broke. What's the breakdown? The Daily Mail says a white Starbucks manager who was fired when her staff refused to let two black men use the bathroom at a Philadelphia store has been awarded $25.6 million. Woo-hoo! And $600,000 in compensatory damages. Yo, I want you just to imagine this lady's like a regional manager. So I wonder if she's getting paid a couple $100,000 a year. Like, not a bad living, you know, you're paying your bills, you own a house, you got your 2-week vacation, you're saving for retirement, you got some investment accounts. You're doing pretty well at a salary like that. Regional manager, what do you think she might be making? Like 200? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Now she got 25.6. Yo, I hope the first thing she does is she goes on a fabulous cruise vacation. I hope she and her family enjoy the finest filet mignon, Oscar style, of course, only the best. They say a federal jury in New Jersey found the company had given her the boot because she was white. Wow. The lawsuit finally came to an end this week, 5 years after the arrest of two black men at the Starbucks in Rittenhouse Square, Philadelphia. Rashawn Nelson and Dante Robinson had been waiting for a meeting when they were refused access to the toilet and were asked to leave before cops were called. Their arrests prompted widespread outrage and protests after footage of the incident emerged, and Starbucks was accused of racism and boycott threats. Oh, geez. Now the news that we have is that they're taking down Pride merchandise, Pride decorations. Miss Phillips, who oversaw the location, as well as about 100 others, and would have been paid up to $200,000. See, that's what I was saying, about $200,000, was quickly fired. But in 2019, sued the coffee chain, claiming it was due to racial bias. Following her victory on Monday, her lawyer, Laura Carlin Mattiacci, said they were very pleased with the unanimous verdict. She said that she proved by clear and convincing evidence that punitive damages were warranted under the New Jersey law. In the lawsuit, Ms. Phillips, who worked for Starbucks for 13 years, claimed she had nothing to do with the arrests, but was still fired from her job a month later. Cell phone footage of the arrest went viral after it showed Mr. Nelson and Mr. Robinson being detained inside the store after they sat without ordering anything. Which is really dumb, by the way. You see what you do, Starbucks? Dude, I don't know what the problem was. These two guys were just sitting there and they wanted to use the bathroom. Why complain about it? If you've got people who are like overtly bothering people and causing problems, you ask them to leave. If it's just two dudes, I never understood that. But hey, Starbucks, you eat it, I guess. The arrest sparked protests and prompted more than 8,000 locations to shut, so the company's 175,000 employees could undergo racial bias training. Ms. Phillips said she worked tirelessly to help repair community relations in the wake of the controversy, according to the lawsuit. In her role as regional manager, Phillips said she oversaw around 100 stores across Philadelphia, New Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland. Interesting. She claimed Starbucks started punishing white employees who weren't involved weeks later in a bid to publicly prove they were handling the incident. Ms. Phillips alleges the firm ordered her to put a white male manager who had worked for the company for 15 years on administrative leave because of a race discrimination allegation against him. The allegation was based on complaints non-white employees at that manager's store were paid less than white workers. Ms. Phillips said she argued the male manager didn't have a say in wages. The lawsuit also said Ms. Phillips objected to suspending him because she said the manager wasn't racist and she had never seen him exhibit discriminatory behavior. She argued in comparison, the black manager of the store where the arrests were carried out did not face any disciplinary action. Ms. Phillips said the black manager's subordinate was the one who called 911 after the two men sat down and refused to leave after being told they couldn't use the bathroom without purchasing something. She claims she was fired soon after and told the situation is not recoverable. Starbucks denied the claims in the lawsuit, but has not commented on the outcome. The two black men ended up reaching a settlement with Starbucks in the aftermath for an undisclosed sum. Oh, so much money to be made in the race grift. Separately, they reached a deal with the city for a symbolic $1 each and a promise from officials to set up a $200,000 program for young entrepreneurs. We thought long and hard about it, and we feel like this is the best way to see the change that we want to see. These guys should not have been arrested. Cops should have come in and said, sir, leave. They should have carried them out of the building, uncuffed them, and said, now you go. Like when you go in and someone refuses to leave unless you arrest them, you got to cuff them. Then they'll say, okay, fine. Then you walk them out of the building. Then you uncuff them and say, dude, you can't trespass, man. The private establishment said you got to go. That's it. If you got to beef with them civilly, you take it up with them civilly. It's not a right now thing. It's a good for now, blah, 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 blah. The men said that they were at Starbucks location waiting for a friend with a third man about a potential real estate opportunity. No charges were ever filed against them following their arrest. The incident proved a major embarrassment for Starbucks, which has long projected an image as a socially conscious company. During the uproar, then Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson went to Philadelphia to apologize to the men. Just so pathetic. He also ordered more than 8,000 stores in the U.S. to close, so 175,000 workers could get training in unconscious bias. Absolutely incredible. Where can I sign up to get fired? One comment says. Benjamin Crump isn't going to like this decision one little bit. One person says, the men said they were at the Starbucks location waiting for a meeting with a third man about a potential real estate opportunity. Really? How could they forward a potential real estate opportunity without affording a couple cups of coffee? I don't agree with that. You know, maybe they're like, dude, like I've gone to a Starbucks before and been waiting for friends and not ordered. And it's like, I'm meeting my friend to get coffee. I'm going to wait until they're here to order. Like, you know, that's like a normal thing to do. So I think the store handled it very poorly, but I don't think race had anything to do with it. I don't think the black supervisor at the store said these black men are doing I don't think race had anything to do with it. I think they're just like, hey, man, we don't want people just hanging out and doing nothing. You've been here too long. What's going on? And then they probably had words. Things like that happen. Here's what I find fascinating. $25 million. Heck of a lot of money. Some might argue this woman is actually lucky, but I wouldn't say that. I'm sure she would rather just have her job, live her life, and everything be normal. But hey, who's going to argue with $25 million? That's a lot of money. You can do a lot of stuff with that. Now, Starbucks is reeling from another major issue. We talked about this the other day. Starbucks says that they did not order Pride merchandise to be taken down. So I ran a segment where this article comes out saying the union is saying they're being ordered to take down Pride decorations. Starbucks is denying it. I don't believe Starbucks. I believe Starbucks likely is telling people to take down the Pride stuff, and many employees probably just aren't. And Starbucks corporate is probably denying it because, as you can see here, they will do anything to avoid public controversy. Talk about a garbage company. You know, I was praising Starbucks the other day. I was like, wow, if this is true, this is based, and I'm going to go buy some Starbucks. Well, I didn't. All right. I still don't think Starbucks is like the worst of the worst, but they're fairly bad. I always tell people, look, don't boycott things if you can't. I'm not saying stop watching Netflix or Disney. I personally don't have Disney Plus. There are things, you know, I've canceled a bunch of these services because of the things they've done and supported. Disney Plus, I do not have it. That one was about the Uyghur Muslims. But I'm like, we got to create alternatives, right? So I'm not going to tell you not to buy Starbucks. And I often talk about when I go out and I want coffee, I want no sugar, I want heavy cream. Starbucks typically is the only place that has it. So I'm not going to sit here and say the world is made better by us just abandoning everything. If you have the means, the capability, and the willpower, by all means, boycott bad companies. For most people, I recognize we're going to still have to maintain some level of convenience. So what do? We made Cast Brew Coffee. Look at that. Bang. Cast Brew Coffee. Go to castbrew.com if you want to support us. The point is, we will build those the alternatives to Starbucks. We are building a coffee shop right now. We got to redo a bunch of stuff in the building. There's a lot of work being done, so it's taking way longer than we thought, which really, really does suck, but it's got to get done. Important work on the building. And we do need to bring on someone who can do regional management so we can launch a franchise, because I think that's probably the fastest way to get it going. So, you know, what we've done is in the Timcast Discord, if you go to timcast.com, you become a member. There's a Discord where we list all of the jobs and help that we're looking for. And we're going through it right now. And we have emails that have been sorted because we're looking for people who want to do work and want to come out here and help us get the ball rolling. So I'll only say this. If you got a problem with Starbucks, castbrew.com, ready and available. And we could use the help to build things up. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes. Stick around and I'll see you all shortly.